Mr. Kohler, please read the title to House Bill 1161.
House Bill 1161, Representative Garcia, Senator Crowder, concerning interstate rail service in Southern Colorado in connection with creating a commission and a fund for the purpose of encouraging Amtrak to continue Southwest Chief Rail Line service at all current Colorado stops, expanding such service to include a stop in Pueblo, studying the potential benefits, expanding such service to include a stop in Walsburg, and making an appropriation.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the adoption of House Bill 1161 on third reading and final passage.
You've heard the motion. We're having little technical issues. The House will stand in a brief recess. House back in order. Seeing discussion, actually. Now we are having discussion. Representative Swan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I was not able to make any comments yesterday on this bill during seconds, but I do want to say something about it on thirds. I have followed RTD issues over the years and fast tracks in particular, and that's a train. That's a 19th century technology. Fast tracks, as we all very well know, is hundreds of billions, if not hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars over budget and decades behind schedule, despite all the promises they made to us. This is another train deal that we're talking about here. And I think we're going to wind up, if they do this, and I trust that they won't, there'll be wiser heads will prevail. But I can, trust me, this would go hundreds of millions of dollars over budget and decades behind budget as well. And I know the federal government, you know, they have the printing presses somewhere in the Treasury basement, and they can print money till they're blue in the face and we're all broke. I guess as long as the Chinese are willing to fund our debt. But this, I think, is just another example of something that the state should not be getting involved with. And I understand it's just a study at this point, but I think that we're starting to talk about committing money to it. So I am certainly going to be a strong no, and I would urge members of this body to also vote no as well. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Representative from Pueblo, Representative Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, members, this is probably one of the most important bills this year for rural Colorado. I know this because I spent a lot of time in my district in Pueblo, but I also spent a lot of time outside of my district in Bent County, in Otero, and other parts of the state where this is really important for traveling, for tourism, and for the economic impact it would have. And as you indicated, Representative Swalm, this is just a study. This talks about the opportunity to continue to expand and preserve the rail line throughout Southwest, and I think it's important that you support this for rural Colorado.
Representative Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, we spent a lot of time this summer traveling around the state of Colorado, listening to communities talk about their transportation needs, and this was one of the issues that we did discuss when we were down in Lamar. Yes, Lamar, La Junta, which is close to Lamar. It's in the southeastern part of Colorado, along Highway 50.
One of those highways?
One of those places. It stops in Lamar. Anyhow, we were very interested in what they had to say regarding Amtrak's inability to service that particular area. But where I come from is this would be like asking for a study for a cruise ship on the Colorado River. This actually makes absolutely no sense because we're dealing with a federal subsidy on a railroad. And I have no idea how we would ever come to an agreement in this body on how to finance something in the future. This makes no sense for us to be involved in. I feel for the people in La Junta and Lamar and Pueblo, and I think there's going to have to be other ways they're going to have to deal with transportation because rail unless it's high-speed rail, is something that is kind of in the past. And I'm sorry that that's the situation, but that's the reality of the situation, is that there just isn't any good way to take care of this problem. So I would ask that people consider this, just as I said, as a cruise ship on the Colorado River. It just doesn't make sense anymore. Thank you very much.
Representative Tyler.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I think I was on the same trip as Representative Scott on that one, whatever town we went to. And I was absolutely impressed by the folks in southern Colorado, how every one of them, we were there for roads and bridges, wanted to talk about the Southwest Chief and how important that was for their economy and how people actually used it to get around and how it fueled tourism in that area and enabled people to get to their part of the state. And I think, you know, I've heard a lot from the railroad folks. You know, the rail's already there. It may need a little bit of work. The train's already there. And I think we ought to at least give them a crack at seeing how they can put things together to keep that going, because it does help the economy of rural eastern Colorado, southeast Colorado, perhaps Pueblo, and perhaps keep a good tradition alive. I really urge and I vote on this bill because I think it'll help southeastern Colorado and the people of Pueblo, even if it is a little bit pork for Pueblo. Vote yes.
Seeing no further discussion, the question for the House is the passage of House Bill 1161 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative, close the machine. With 44 aye votes, 20 no votes, 1 excuse, and 0 absent, House Bill 1161 is passed.